Well, so now it comes to the assembly of this beautifully 3D printed part that I've designed for the upgrade for the 3018 to this lovely made sealed 300 watt DC motor. Now this will operate at 12,000 RPM with an offload RPM of 16,000. So what I did when I actually made this in the 3D printer, I did a hexagon pattern fill of 75%, and what I did, I stopped the last 3 millimeters in height. Okay, so in the process, the last 3 millimeters, I just shut it off, because what I wanted to do was not lose too much in the Z travel. This is like 3 millimeters higher than this, so I'm not losing too much. And also this gives it some mechanism of expelling the heat from the motor. I don't think it's going to get that hot anyway. It's got a fairly good fan on it, and I'm only catching hold of it right down the very bottom here. Okay, so there's a fair amount of the body that's still in contact with moving air, and I don't envisage me running this for 5-6 hours at a time. The most it's ever going to be running, I suppose, would be about an hour, which is going to be fine. So for those of you that want to run it for a long period of time, obviously I've designed and made available on my Patron pages this adapter for the aluminium housing that comes with it. So you just assemble it with that. The STL files are available on Patron for this, as is the adapter for the laser, which fits in there like that, and you put the laser in as you normally would. So try to make this as modular as I can. So I've just checked this, and you want an interference fit on these. Now I made them 0.2 of a millimeter, which is 20 thou, smaller than what, actually 10, the hole in the center here is 10 thou smaller than what this is, but you've got the, still the microscopic ridges of the sort of layer build, which is going to be the interference fit. So this should just tap in there fairly easy. Now what I do to something like this, because you don't want to damage this, this is brass, this is the little threaded part that goes onto here. Okay, now I suppose you could, if you wanted to, get a little bit of araldite or possibly CA glue, but I don't think it warrants it, because this is on the underside. Okay, so I've cleaned this up a little bit inside, and we'll put this into here. So just put a piece of wood on it. Nice and flush. So because I've 3D printed it with a slight interference fit, well, that's in there and it's not going to come out. So Just make sure that, yeah, that goes in there okay. In actual fact, this is in reverse. It actually goes in through that way, like that. Okay. And of course this piece fits in here with the spring to give it the anti-backlash effect. Okay, so we should be able to put these in the same way. Just start them with your fingers and just tap it in. Use a bit of wood on them. It's not nice to hit these straight with a hammer. Nice and flush. Okay, so having got those through, I've got some 8mm rod. Just make sure they fit, they're lined up perfectly, which they are. Incidentally, this 8mm rod is going to go with this, and it's going to be attached to the back of this, I've decided. So we're coming to give us a third rail. Well, so we'll get to that after. there it is. Well, so far anyway. I've decided to break this up into two separate videos because it's just going to go on too long. Basically, the conversion to this 300 watt motor is done. And I'm extremely pleased with it. Everything is absolutely perfect. There's no play. Everything works. You saw, as I was putting it together, everything works fine. Slides easy. So everything lines up perfectly. So I know that the STL file that I've loaded up to my Patron page is perfect. I stopped the print on this about 3mm before the printer was supposed to finish because I didn't want to lose too much height. And secondly, the microscopic then holes, or very, very small holes that are in this hex pattern infill, I've left open to the air because it will dissipate some of the heat from the motor. Not that I think the motor is going to get really hot at all. One thing too, if when you connect your motor up it's running anti-clockwise, just swap the wires around. It's DC. Alright, just swap the wires around and the motor will turn the opposite direction. I'll just zoom you in a bit and we'll fire it up. This is real time and a little bit of vibration, noise that is, that's coming from the fan. So that's doing 16,000 RPM. You drop it down to about 10 to 12,000. Quietens up quite a lot, but that is just ordinary noise, Very controllable. And off. And it's necessary for me to fully build this before I can move on to the next section, because I've got to strip it down again. So I just thought, you'd like to see this, because I don't know how many people would want to go to the next stage. Well, I do. I made... And this one. I made two designs of this motor boss or holder. And what I did was I designed this part, okay, to mate up to the solid aluminium. This weighs as much as what the motor does, and it's a heat sink for the motor as well. And it's really, really overkill, I believe. I was thinking of, machining a lot of this away to lighten it up a bit, because it's extremely overkill. Beautiful piece, but overkill. So I made this to mount the motor, and if you wanted to. And also, this is the adapter, okay, that when you take the motor out, you just slot this in and you can put the laser in, okay, because the laser fitted into that little square lugged area, which I've sort of duplicated on the inside of there. I've got a slit so to close up and grasp the laser. So there's that. That takes care of the motor upgrade in whichever direction you wish to go. I think I'm quite happy with this because I don't think I'm ever going to cut aluminium in it, although after my next upgrade it probably would. Okay, we'll probably give it a try. Now so what I've done is my old 3D printer that I built some years ago that I wasn't at all happy with, I'm actually using the parts of it. Okay, this is like 8mm rod, the bearings, and this was the extruder head bracket. Well, I'm going to use it, modify it, and use it for my next part of this project, which is what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to put some mounting holes in here, and I am going to mount it, if I can show you. I'll zoom in again. I'm going to mount onto the back of this. Nice solid material there. So I'm going to mount this on the back. So I'm going to mount this on the back so it comes onto the back of the unit there. I can drill some holes and screw it securely onto the back. And then this can come underneath, you see, and I can put a rail then. Oop, I'll put this at that end. I don't know whether I can do that. No, I can't. Can't show you like that. So if you imagine that's run the other way, I'm going to put this rail on the back here. And it's going to ride up about there somewhere. I don't think I'm ever going to have anything more than about 35, 40mm. So I'm still going to be able to get slide 40mm underneath and not touch the bottom of the bearings. But putting that rail over the back and connecting it to the back of this will stop this flex. It's only a small amount of flex, but it will flex. You can actually make it flex about 1/8 of an inch back and forth, which is not good, especially if you're getting into harder material and you want to use a bigger tool. It'll make it vibrate all over the place. So that's one of the upgrades I really wanted to do with this. And just this bracket and bearing and rod will allow me to do that. And I'll also be 3D printing some of these little clamping brackets for the bearing rod. So that'll be the next video of carrying out that conversion. And I don't think it's probably anything else that I need to do. Maybe something will crop up, but it turns it into an entirely different, much better little CNC router, that you can sort of operate as a laser as well. So thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And all the files I've already uploaded some, like for this for these three. They're already on my Patron pages, and hopefully they're going to be of use. So if you've enjoyed the video, please press like and subscribe. And also, talking about patrons, I am retired, and it is the patrons behind this channel that keeps it moving along. So if you'd like to become a patron, that would be a great help. Thank you. So thank you for joining me, and it's bye for now.